Okay, so this is probably my second ever attempt at an unboxing video. I'd like to apologize in advance for any potential technical issues that we see. I'm just recording this on my phone. This is a product that I was very excited about getting on Kickstarter from Games to Grow, and it's Critical Core, something that I pledged for back in 2020, and due to various circumstances, not in the which was COVID and the issues we've been having with shipping lately, have finally received just today. It is a, I believe, 5e compatible tabletop role playing game designed specifically for therapeutic uses. If you can see over here is a little bit about the game, some of the stuff that we got in here, the Game Master Guide, which you obviously need, Facilitator Guide, because this is a therapeutic role-playing game, so there's probably some issues that are outside what a normal game would be, keeping it in the therapeutic context. It looks like 8 pre-generated characters, 3 adventures, GM screen, 125 cards, which is spells, abilities, monsters, reusable playmat, 48 game tokens, world map. This has its own system setting. Looks like it's Toravus. And 4 sets of dice. Tools for parents, mentors, new game masters, child development. So this is for use with youth groups, specifically in the therapeutic context, which, believe it or not, is how I was reintroduced into the world of tabletop role-playing games. I had played earlier in the 90s, and I'd kind of fallen out of favor with it, and a friend of mine, former coworker, actually got me started with a therapeutic game group with youth. So this is kind of full circle for me coming back in to role-playing games after a pretty long absence, so that's another reason why I'm really excited about this product. Streamlined, simplified, gateway RPG for everyone. And I don't know if it specifically calls out 5e, but it is a 501c3, which is pretty exciting. It means it's non-profit. So we are going to go ahead and tear into this bad boy. Let's see if I can use my thumb or if I'm going to need the scissors here. So yes, as you can see, true unboxing. I'm not messing around with a pre-opened box and pretending. I know some people do that, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm surprised when I'm really not. This is my first seeing all of this. I managed to get the box upside down. Let's flip that out. Let's see if we can get it one-handed. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. Kind of lifting the box a little bit. Oh, look at this. Nothing on the back corner, but you know, makes a great dice tray in a pinch. So let's check this out real quick. I don't know how this is going to go with editing, but we'll find out. So a nice introductory sheet. What is this for? Why Critical Core? Getting started for later on. I mentioned this had like 3 adventures with it, so that's pretty cool. Pretty nice looking orc right there. Don't just game to grow. And this, I'm going to assume, is some of the PCs. Sorry if it's not showing. Oh, there we go. You can see it a little bit better. Maybe that was actually a half-orc earlier because we see him again. And again, here's a list of what we got. Introduction, which is this. The GM screen. The Tovarus map poster, reusable playmat, 3 adventure modules, Little Town of Tusk, the Festival of the Birds, the Age of Green, the GM guide, the Facilitator guide, 8 character sheets, 48 characters, 125 cards, 4 sets of dice. And then they got a little shout out for their website. Looks cool. I'm going to assume this is our DM screen, GM screen, as the case may be. I like it. It's pretty basic on the front, and then we got on the back. Well, look at this, laminated, keeping track of our PCs. That's always beneficial. Let's see if you can see this. So they have a little flow chart, which I like. I don't know if other games or editions of D&D have had this. I haven't seen it presented exactly like this, but I kind of like how they have the whole thing broken down in a nice little infographic so you can tell what's going on. And a little cheat sheet, so the D20 roll, attribute bonus, quality bonus, which they say is optional. So you can see that some of the specific terminology is a little bit different from 5e specifically, but it all looks like it kind of still lines up. Don't know if it's one-to-one exactly, but it's all there. We have character qualities, which is a little bit different. The attribute bonuses, which, you know, that's pretty standard. Combat. And really, I'm thinking a lot of this could probably be useful even outside of the therapeutic context and outside of this game specifically. A lot of this might just pertain to D&D and RPGs in general. But this is definitely a really good resource to have. I'm not one of the DMs that normally uses a screen per se. I tend to do a lot of stuff on my laptop these days, but definitely if you're wanting to do it old school, that's a really good resource, and it's still not bad to look at every once in a while. And this is our map. I'll push this back so we can look at this. You can say it's pretty interesting detail, but I would like to pull it out and get a look at that. So Tovarus, the now and ever. See some specific, and hopefully this isn't spoiling anything for anybody that's planning on playing, but there is a location called the Badlands, which I'm always interested to see. So yeah, this is a really cool map. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. Let me see if I can pull it out a little bit and show you. It's a pretty good sized map, as you can see. I really love having maps included with games like this. Of course, the Forgotten Realms, the Faerun, has always been one of my favorites, but it's always good for immersion to kind of show your characters where they're at, where they're going, where they've been. Yeah. If I had some sophisticated software, I'd probably be editing all of this out about now. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm going to go ahead and just let that sit here for now, and we'll fold it properly later. There's our playmat. Now, I bought one of these, and even though I mostly play 5e, I got the Pathfinder mat a while ago, and that has served me well, but it's nice to have more than one. Unfortunately, this one does not seem to be reversible, but you can't have anything. I think it's either the same size or perhaps a little bit larger. But nice laminated map. You can draw on, do whatever you need to, and I believe this will fold out one more time. Or maybe not. Still, always nice to have a play mat that you can draw on as needed. We'll stick that over there. So here is the character sheets, it looks like. I told my daughter about this, and she was wanting to know if there was a human wizard, so I guess I'll get to tell her soon. So we do have a tiefling monk. So we have the number written in gray, so I'm guessing as you play, this is the stuff that you can change as they level up. I'm glad that they gave us that option. I really like this design. It's really nice art there. And then those are the qualities that they mentioned before, so it's really cool that they just have those out in front that you can see, especially as this is designed for newer game masters and players. It's really going to help. And then on the back, being a monk, they've got the key, kai, chi, however you want to say it, and the open hand technique. Okay, sorry for that slight technical delay. So that was our tiefling monk. And here's the half-orc barbarian that we saw on the front. So I'm guessing this is the poster boy. Has a blank for the character name, so we get to name him ourselves. I don't know if there's a suggested name somewhere in this. But again, we've got his stats on the side, and it looks like we are just doing the, not the raw stat, but what the bonus or modifier is. So it's interesting to see they're going with that. We got a level 1 ability. So some of this terminology and presentation reminds me a little bit of 4E, but I think this is still mostly, it's kind of their own take, I guess, on 5E. I don't know, but that looks pretty interesting. So there's our half-orc barbarian. Nothing on the back for him, because, you know, oh, no, we fooled out. I wonder if the tiefling did that. I didn't even see that. So dark vision, relentless endurance, reckless attack. So that's all 5e stuff. The danger sense, frenzy, extra attack. Equipment over here. And then you've even got all of your combat actions that you can take. So this is breaking it down for new players, and I gotta say, I really appreciate that. So we got to our wizard. Don't tell my daughter, she's gonna be disappointed, but it's an elf wizard, not a human. The same thing there. So he does have a short sword attack. And here we got our spells. So we got Mage Hand, Prestidigitation, Firebolt, Acid Grasp, Mending, Shield, Magic Missile, Chilling Blast, Featherfall, Scorching Ray, Web, Invisibility, Ball Lightning, and Gaseous Force. So all the way up to level 4. So I don't know if we're going to be having people start out at higher level, or if they just have everything planned out for when they do level up. But we got our Dark Vision, Trance, Arcane Recovery, the Short Rest, Detect Magic, Sculpt Spells. Let's take a look at that. Create pockets of relative safety within the effects of your spells. When you cast a spell, it affects other creatures. Your spell attacks miss up to 4 chosen creatures. So they're baking that right in. So if you're playing more tactically and you're not wanting to hit your friends, that's kind of nice to have that. And an extra cantrip. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love that. We got our equipment, and again, the same action breakdown. And on the back, we've got all of our spells laid out for us right there, which I gotta say, that's really going to speed up play for a lot of people, especially when we're looking at newer GMs and players, just to have all that information right there. So we do have a human fighter. Again, I'm really loving this artwork. That looks really nice. And again, with our all of our stats laid out vertically as opposed to horizontally. I think that's really easy to read. The eye just kind of flows downwards with that. And outdoorsy, identifying plants and animals following tracks. So that looks like that's 3 or 4 skills. Well, 2 or 3, I guess. In 5e, we would probably look at that as nature, survival, animal handling, something like that. And it's all condensed into one little package there in these qualities. And it looks like they all share the same bonus too, so that's really kind of interesting. And we got a level up guide baked in as well, so that'll really save time. Depending on the class, that can be a lengthy process, especially when you're one DM guiding 4, possibly more players through their leveling up. So what I'm thinking is they took the OGL SRD stuff and kind of just ran with it and made it their own, which I think is phenomenal. And another classic is we got a halfling bard. Wonder what race they're going to use for their rogue. I can't wait to find out, because the trope is normally the halfling rogue, but we've got a bard. And I think this one is distinguished from the traditional art we've seen in the official player's handbook and such. Again, really liking this art. Let's take a look at our bard spells. Minor illusion, message, bardic amp, that's a new one. We might have to take a look at that. Thunderwave, healing word, vicious mockery, hideous laughter, disguise self, shatter, zone of truth, fear, major image. So it's really nice, I think, that they're giving you the guidelines to level up in this, and it can be a lot faster and more automatic. It does take a little the customization out, and I know a lot of people, especially people that favor 3.5 or Pathfinder over 5e, have already said that there's not enough customization in 5e as it is. But again, this is designed as a gateway game, especially if you're looking at the therapeutic contents. This is just trying to get people out there playing as quickly as possible, so it makes sense why they do that. So create one of the following effects within 30 feet. Make your voice or instrument boom loudly, carry a crowd. Cause harmony, play along with music that you play or sing. Cause a single coin to teleport from a bag or container that you're carrying to your hand or vice versa. Change the appearance of your eyes color. So it looks like it's kind of like a prestidigitation specifically for bards. And I kind of like that. I don't think that bards get enough that's distinguished and specifically for them. And that is a cantrip, by the way. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm a little bit biased, I'm going to admit, because I love bards. I love playing bards. I love running bards. I love when my players play bards, and so far they've all played one. I think we've had a bard in almost every campaign. Oh, here we go. Here's the rogue, and it is a half-elf. So again, that is really, really distinct art. I really love the style, and it really stands out, I think, from other materials that I've seen in the past. It's definitely got its own identity. So the qualities for a bard are acrobatic, perceptive, deceptive, nimble, stealthy. I like how they're condensing all the skills into these qualities. I think that really will simplify things. And again, you got your level up guide, your special abilities, the background, which is intentionally left blank. So that's going to let the players come up with that on their own. Equipment, and again, we got your cheat sheet of our actions during combat. Which really, again, I just love how all of this is broken down and made as easy as possible to get new players and new DMs onboarded. So our druid, we've got a druid, and he is a dragonborn. And really, I can't say anything bad about that. So he's got an animal affinity. Calm animals down, riding horses. So that looks like it's separate from the nature one, the outdoorsy. See, that's down there as well. So I guess those are two separate things. Medic, so backup healer if you don't have a cleric, which I haven't seen, and I don't know if we have one. No, we do. Okay. So we have Druidcraft, Produce Flame, Entangle, Fairy Fire, Minor Regeneration, that might be a new one. Fog Cloud, Barkskin, Heat Metal, Flame Blade, Meld into Stone, Call Lightning, so that's an interesting spell selection. There's a lot of old standards. There's a few that I've seen quite often selected by druids that are not there, but that's still a pretty interesting selection, and it does not seem, with the materials provided at least, that you're able to change things up and create your own. Oh, what's this? Beast shape. Okay, so for our wild shape, or beast shape, it kind of gives us some guidelines for that. Again, the level up guide. And we've got the spells here. So, oh, there's Produce Flame, Entangle, Fairy Fire, Flame Blade, Meld into Stone, Fog Cloud. Not sure if that's in the official materials or if that's another new one, but that is really interesting how they've come up with some unique spells that are specific to this game, and I'm already wondering if some of those can't be lifted for a standard 5e. And it looks like our last one, yep, is our Dwarf Cleric. Look at that guy. It looks like he's got some kind of monocle on there, which is really interesting. I like the flecks of white in his hair and his beard. A guy my age can certainly relate. He's got his Warhammer, his throwing axe, and for spells we've got Light, Sacred Flame. I can never pronounce this correct. Thaumaturgy, Guidance, Create, Destroy Water, Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, Bless, Cure Wounds, Command, Blindness, Deafness, Hold Person, Lesser Restoration, Spiritual Weapons, Spirit Guardians, Mass Healing Word, and that's a lot of the standards, I believe. So that's some good stuff there. Of course, we got our spells on the back. Level up guide. You need to know about Turn Undead. I know that's one thing when we're running clerics we've always got to look up specifically. And it's got his Disciple of Life baked in as well. So that's our character sheets. I think those are very interesting. And we got some tokens. Looks like Punch Out style. So here's our pre-gen characters that we've just ran through their sheets. And the alternate, and it looks like that's just going by class. We have some blank ones, presuming you could glue or draw or tape your own pictures on there. Monster NPC tokens, so those are just some numbers. Are these the same? Monster NPC. And then bonus tokens. So like that might be the equivalent of inspiration in this context. Not quite sure. I'd have to look at the materials. And then we have 3 adventures here. So we got the Little Town of Tusk, the Festival of Birds, and the Age of Green. And looks like they got a level, so level 3, level 2, level 1. So this will take us up through 3rd level. Game Master's Guide, which I looked a little bit at the PDF of this, and I gotta say, like, from what I saw, it looked very well written, very easy to understand. So if you're a new GM, or if you're a therapist who's getting into this the first time, working with a youth group or whatever the case may be, I think this is going to be very easy to understand. Would be interested in seeing just how many differences they have between this and standard 5e. I think I pointed out a couple as I've seen them. But yeah, got our definition of the dice, talking about our 3 tiers, so exploration, combat, and role play. All essential stuff. We have our cards, which I don't know if I want to crack into these just yet, but as you can see, we've got spell cards, and I think they said the quality or ability cards, and I think there's some monster on there as well. And they were kind enough to include 4 sets of dice, which that's always nice. Who doesn't need more dice? So having them all in this kit like this, you're with your group, and who brought dice, who forgot dice, whatever the case may be, it's right there. Looks like we got a bag, so once we do take them out, we can put them in there. And finally, I think these might be some NPC cards. Possibly some monster cards as well, which is always a great resource for people who want to just, hey, this is what you're facing, especially if you're not doing laptop, you're not doing Roll20 or any other virtual tabletop simulator. If you're just using handouts and low tech, this kind of stuff is great. So yeah, this is what $60 and about 2 years of waiting can get you, and I gotta say, I am more than satisfied with this purchase, and I can't wait to use this in a therapeutic context or even with my own home group. This is great stuff. Alright, thanks for putting up with this long video. Everybody take care, and I will see you next time.